Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on a really powerful technique. It's changing how we approach complex problems with large language models.
hmm
It's called Tree of Thoughts, or 2T for short.
Yep.
And we're looking at it through sort of an engineering lens, how it really boosts problem solving.
Exactly. We really want to get into how this method lets AI move past just, simple step-by-step thinking
Right.
and explore a much wider set of possibilities, which ultimately should lead to better, more robust solutions for those really tricky challenges.
Right. So forget thinking in a straight line from A to B.
Yeah.
We're talking branching out, exploring different avenues, making hopefully smarter decisions when tasks get complex.
That's the goal.
Our mission today, unpack how 2T manages this balance between exploring lots of options and really digging deep on the promising ones.
Okay, so maybe let's start with the basics. Tree of thoughts, 2T. It builds on an earlier idea, chain of thought,
Sure.
2T.
Chain of thought, I think people might be familiar with that one.
Possibly. So imagine COTI like a single track of reasoning.
Yeah.
You give the AI a problem, and it just generates thoughts one after another. A leads to B leads to C until it gets an answer.
Okay, yeah. Straightforward, linear, makes sense. So what makes Tree of Thoughts different then?
Well, think of it visually. Instead of that single track, 2P creates a whole tree, like branches coming off.
Ah, okay.
The key difference is the language model can explore multiple different reasoning paths at the same time. It's not, locked into that one initial direction.
So it's like the AI can weigh up various angles at each step, almost like it's brainstorming different ways to go as it moves along.
Precisely. Yeah, brainstorming is a good way to put it. And each of these thoughts in the tree, they're coherent bits of language,
Yeah,
intermediate steps moving towards solving the bigger problem.
right. They're not just random branching.
No, no. Each thought is a logical part of a potential solution path.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The model isn't stuck on one branch, right? It can actually branch out from different points, different nodes in this tree.
Exactly. It can essentially revisit earlier points and try a different path if the current one isn't looking, promising.
Which seems crucial for complex tasks.
That's the core strength, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for those problems where there isn't just one obvious way forward.
Right.
You often need to try different approaches, maybe backtrack a bit, explore possibilities to land on a good solution.
It just sounds much more flexible, much more adaptable than just following one single train of thought, which might just dead end.
hmm It allows for a much more uh, thorough investigation of the whole problem space.
And if we think about it from that engineering angle,
Yeah,
it sounds a lot like how engineers actually work, right? You don't just pick the first design.
absolutely. You might have several initial ideas, maybe some different hypotheses for a problem.
You explore them, test them out.
Right. Evaluate their feasibility, maybe combine bits from different ideas. 2TT gives that kind of flexibility to the AI.
So this ability to explore multiple paths, it's not just theoretically neat, it actually improves the AI's decision-making for complex stuff.
It's exactly right. 2T allows for a much more, let's say, comprehensive look at different potential solutions, or even just the intermediate steps you need to get there.
Okay.
It's like the AI is running through multiple scenarios almost in parallel, which, increases the chances of finding a really high-quality answer.
And by looking at more options, I guess it's less likely to miss something, like a solution it wouldn't have even considered on a linear path.
Absolutely. Exploring those diverse intermediate thoughts, those different conclusions before settling on a final answer. That can lead to more innovative results, more robust results too.
Less risk of getting stuck on a bad path early on.
Exactly. Think about optimizing some complex system, lots of interacting parts. A simple linear approach might find a solution, but maybe not the best one. It gets stuck locally.
Okay.
2T's branching lets it explore much wider, potentially finding a significantly better overall optimum.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Like in engineering design, you wouldn't just go with the first sketch. You'd explore, maybe simulate, test.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really clever about TOT is how it balances things. It needs to explore lots of different possibilities. That's the diversity part.
Right, the breadth.
But it also needs to go deep down the paths that seem promising.
Yeah.
That's the depth of reasoning.
Ah, okay. So it's not just random exploration. There's a strategy. Deciding when to dig deeper versus when to branch out.
Exactly. There's a strategic element. Think about basic chain of thought. Again, it might just get stuck down one path, even if it's wrong,
Yep.
because it can't easily backtrack.
Right?
On the other flip side, if you just explored super broadly without ever going deep, you just generate lots of surface level ideas.
Yeah.
Probably not solve the actual problem.
It's like exploring a huge forest very shallowly
Mhm.
versus knowing exactly which few trails to follow really deep. TOT seems to let the AI do both.
In a way, yes. It aims for that effective combination. And from an engineering standpoint, that's just crucial for efficiency.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste computing power, endlessly chasing dead ends.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to miss a breakthrough by being too narrow.
So 2T helps manage that trade-off more intelligently.
That's the idea.
Okay, so even though we're not digging into code today, just understanding this approach, this sort of engineering-inspired framework, gives us some useful takeaways, I think.
Absolutely. You should recognize that 2T represents a more sophisticated way to structure thinking for complex tasks. For AI, sure, but maybe for us too.
Right. It encourages a more deliberate, exploratory approach.
Yeah. So think about those times in your own work. Maybe you feel stuck on a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Could you benefit from consciously stepping back and brainstorming multiple different approaches, even if some seem a bit wild at first?
Like breaking the problem down and exploring different options for each piece.
Could be. Or just mentally mapping out a few different paths to the goal, evaluating them before you commit heavy resources down one route.
Think about tasks where just following steps feels, well, limiting.
Yeah, those are prime candidates for this kind of branching thinking, where exploring alternatives could really lead to better outcomes.
It's pretty fascinating seeing these AI techniques like 2T starting to mirror how humans actually think sometimes. We rarely just go straight.
Right, we jump around, we explore alternatives, we backtrack, we rethink assumptions. It's messy, but often effective.
Yeah.
And understanding these advanced methods gives you, a peek into how we might use AI in the future, not just for automation, but as real problem-solving partners on increasingly complex stuff.
Well, this has been really insightful. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the engineering side of Tree of Thoughts prompting.
My pleasure.
It's definitely given me a new way to think about tackling complex problems myself.
Good, good. We hope this exploration has really highlighted the power of, that branching reasoning.
Mm.
And maybe you can see how that kind of exploration connects to effective problem solving in lots of different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, we're so grateful for your curiosity, for tuning in and exploring these advanced topics with us. If you found this breakdown insightful and you want to dive deeper into more cutting-edge AI concepts like this one, definitely hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we've got more planned.
We certainly do. Thanks again for listening.